This meeting is being called to order. I'd like to thank everybody for attending the Joliet Township Annual Town Hall Meeting located here at the Joliet Township Government Building at 175 West Jefferson Street, Joliet, Illinois at 6:15 p.m. on April 11th, 2023. Again, thank you, everybody. We have space up front if I see we have people standing in the back. I'm so glad it's a standing room, but please come on forward and have a seat. We would like everybody to be comfortable. I'd like to go ahead and get started by pledging allegiance to the flag. We can all please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call ask a motion for a moderator, please. Can somebody make a motion for a moderator?
I'd like to motion for Amy Sanchez.
Do I have a second, or does anyone, yes, Ms. You second? Okay, so I have this trustee Suzanne Ibarra making a motion for Amy Sanchez to be our moderator, a second by Ms. March Fleet. I'd like to make a second call. Anybody else would like to nominate anyone to moderate tonight's meeting? Okay, third call, any other person like to make another nomination for anybody else for tonight's meeting? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Approved. Ms. Amy Sanchez, would you please step down? Ms. Sanchez, I'd like to have you take an oath, please. If you can please raise your right hand. Okay. Oath of moderator for the annual town hall meeting. I, Amy Sanchez,
I, Amy Sanchez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
that I will faithfully and
impartially
discharge the duties
of moderator
of moderator
at this town meeting
at this town meeting
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then if you can sign here. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So, we will at this time like to call Ms. March Fleet to read the township history.
Thank you. Joliet Township was incorporated on November 6, 1849. The first election took place in 1850, but the township foundation was laid some 20 years later by pioneer settlers who came to the region by way of an old Indian trail known as Sauk or Sac Trail. These early settlers were attracted to the area by its rivers and streams and the forests which grew along the banks, usually in small scattered groves, but sometimes in large belts of timberline many miles long. Charles Clement was the first supervisor elected in Joliet Township, and he served for a total of 3 years. On January 10th, 1850, the Board of Supervisors met for the first time. Each town had one representative. The population in 1850 was approximately 4,650. The residents of 1850 were concerned about their crops, jobs, schools in the newly built I&M Canal, and improving their quality of life. During these early years of settlement, the adventurous and resourceful pioneers established a solid foundation upon which the present-day communities in Joliet Township have flourished.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amy, I forgot to do number 2. I got so excited with getting our moderator. Okay, so before we nominate moderator, I was supposed to have just we just discussed with everyone that, the public notice that went out. So legal notice for Joliet Township, Will County, State of Illinois, requiring this meeting, notice was given, for the meeting on April 11th, and it reads as follows. So the legal voters, residents of the town of Joliet in the county of Will and state of Illinois, and the annual town meeting of said town will take place on Tuesday, April 11th, being the second Tuesday of said month, of the hour of 6:15 p.m. at the Joliet Township Office Building, Town Hall Meeting Room 175 West Jefferson Street, Joliet, Illinois, for the transaction of the miscellaneous business of said town. And after a moderator having been elected, will proceed to hear and consider reports of officers and decide on such measure as may, in pursuance of law, appropriately come before the meeting agenda. One, clerk calls the annual town meeting to order, the pledge of allegiance to the flag, reading of the call, public notice, calls the nomination for moderator, motion is presented, place the name and nomination of the moderator. The request is presented 3 times as there are any other nominations. Oath of office is administered to the moderator. Motion to accept the minutes of the previous annual town hall meeting of April 12, 2022. Motion to accept the minutes of the previous special town meeting. Introduction of the township officials and those in attendance. Request the financial statements for all the township to be read. The financial statements are posted in the town hall for inspection. Any questions on financial statements? Motion to approve the financial statements. Moderator compensation. Delegate the authority to the township board to purchase, sell, and lease property for a period of 12 months under 5 ILCS 120-2C 5 and 2, the setting of a price for the sale of lease of property owned by the public body, 5 ILCS 120-2 C6. Calls the township supervisor to discuss town activities, inquire if any other township officials would like to speak, inquiries of any residents of the township would like to ask any questions or discuss any township concerns, closing remarks, motion to set time for next annual town meeting. The annual town meetings are set by law. They are to be held on the second Tuesday of the month of April. The next annual town meeting will be held on Tuesday, April 9th of 2024. Inquires if there is anything else to come before the meeting, and motion to adjourn. And this was given to the Herald News on March 8th. It was also posted at both public libraries, at the Will County Building and at City Hall, and on this building's north and south entrance on the door. Thank you. You may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clerk Morales, and thank you again to Ms. Fleet for recognizing and sharing the history of Joliet Township. I think that is most important, that we recognize the history as we look to the future, and remember how far we've come, and how many people laid the foundation and the framework for what we do here tonight and every year. I would also like to take a quick moment, and I promise I won't be before you long because I want to enjoy this beautiful evening and weather as well. But I'd also like to call special attention to a high school student in the audience tonight, that Ariana Westbrooks, thank you for being present. You are the future. When we talk about this history, thank you so much for being here and making this fun. So I was honored and humbled to stand before you last year, April 12th, 2022, as moderator. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous annual town hall meeting. If I can get a motion in a second from the electeds, that's all of you holding a paddle. Okay, there's a motion from, okay, I see a motion there, and a second here, so, and then many after that.
Motion by Sue Buston, second by Trustee Ibarra.
And all in favor, you're gonna raise the blue to say yes and the red to say no? Okay. Unanimously passed, thank you so much. And now at this time, there's a motion to accept the minutes of the previous special town hall meeting, which took place on January 24th, 2023. If there's a motion and a second. I see a motion from Trustee Farrow and a second from Mr. Stiff. All in favor, hold the blue side as yay and the red side as nay. You guys are amazing tonight. I love this, thank you. And at this time, I would like to introduce the township officials and those that are in attendance.
Sure.
Miss anybody.
Supervisor Angel Contreras, Trustee Cesar Escutia, Trustee Ray Slattery, Trustee Susana Ibarra, and we have our Highway Commissioner, Road District, Vince Alessio, Am I missing any? We have
Trustee Farrell.
We have Trustee Farrell.
Yeah.
Trustee Farrell. We also have our City Councilman at Large, Cesar Guerrero. And we have High School Board re-elected Board Member Michelle Stiff. And we have our Township Assessor, Mr. Jim Brzezinski.
Hello.
And am I missing any other?
Mrs. Aguirre.
I'm sorry?
Mrs. Aguirre.
Yes, and we also have Precinct Committee Woman 13 and District 86 Board Member-elect Sandra Aguirre in the back. And we also have, is there any other PCs here? I think Jesse Stiff, PC?
Yeah.
Precinct Committee person, Mr. Stiff. Any other Precinct Committee person? Okay, I think, thank you all. Thank you for serving and for all the work that you do and for putting your name on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, I'll request that the financial statements for all township funds be read. They are posted in the town hall for inspection. Any questions on your financial statements? But the financial statement, thank you to the township for putting it in larger font this year than last year's meeting. We greatly appreciate that. But they are posted for public notice in the front, in this room here, as well as on the front reception area as well. And if anybody got a chance to examine those, if there's any questions at this time about the financials, and for notification to all of the receipts each month that are approved by the township are posted on the township's website. This is just a cumulative over the entire year that is posted here. But the township is doing very transparent work in listing those said receipts for all of the transactions throughout the month, and those are posted on the website each month as well. Are there any questions at this time? If I can get a motion in a second to approve the financial statements. Okay, a motion, just sir here.
Jeff,
What's your last name?
Jeff Walls.
Jeff Walls, and a second by trustee Farrell. All in favor, again, blue is yay and red is nay. All in favor? Thank you, unanimously approved. At this time for agenda item E, Clerk Morales is going to
Sure.
initiate that.
Normally, we found out from township officials of Illinois that we are able to give our moderator that graciously always volunteers to do this, we are able to compensate them for their duties today for running the meeting. So we would need a motion for somebody to make for compensation. Trustee Ibarra?
I'd like to make a motion to pay our moderator $250 this one time for this year's meeting.
We need a second.
Second.
Mr. Stiff?
Second motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Motion approved. Thank you.
I'm gonna quit my day job. Humbly and graciously accept. Thank you so much. We appreciate this. Our intellectual property and the value that we bring to the table in all of our work never goes for compensation, but I do truly appreciate and am humbled and am to accept that as well. Thank you very much. At this time, letter F. There is a motion to delegate the authority to the township board to purchase, sell, and lease property for a period of 12 months, and the setting of a price for a sale or lease of property owned by the public body. So that is a broad topic, and I'm not sure if there's any questions, but we would need a motion and a second. I do want to say a question myself that I would like to ask for clarification purposes, because years ago there was talk about the township selling this building or putting it into another set of hands, and that is not what this is intended right now. Is that correct?
You want me to answer that?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
so this just delegates, gives us permission to enter. So this isn't giving us any specific. It's just during the year, if we wanted to purchase, lease, or sell anything, everything still has to be go through a regular board meeting, but this just even gives us an option to even enter into anything like that. So any specific that ever happens still has to be put out, specific, out in public, for a board meeting. This just gives us the authority to even enter into anything for a 12-month period.
That is a lot of clarity for me. Thank you. Does anyone else have questions about this action item on F?
Yeah, this
Hearing none, I just need a motion and a second to approve then. A motion from trustee Farrell and a second from Councilman Guerrero. All in favor, hold up the blue side. Any opposed, hold up the red side. Perfect, you guys are amazing. At this time, I would like to call on the township supervisor to discuss town activities. He has a 2-minute limit.
Thank you everyone for coming and participating. So, last year was our first annual town hall. We're glad everyone, came and participated. But I did want to talk about just a little bit of our activities, that things have changed rapidly in a year of what we're able to provide and get into. One of the things like our entire our administration and our elected officials did when we got to this office, we did speak about filling the gaps, right? We knew what townships can do, and we knew coming out of the pandemic, there was just a lot of opportunities for an entity like a township to get involved in. And then, working within a township, within a city, surrounded by a county, within the state of Illinois, and just all the partners, and actually even all the experience my officials here have had with JJC, with Clerk Morales being on the JJC board, with now Trustee Ibarra potentially finalizing to get on the Joliet City Council. We're just waiting for Tuesday. And like our experiences, just having relationships, myself being on the school board, housing authority, and the experience of Mr. Slattery and Caesar being a precinct committeeman, and Commissioner Alessio, one of the things we did realize, we are not in a silo, but we do have experience working with other entities. And within that experience, we pivoted, we were able to pivot ourselves, with our budget to go after bigger resources that our community needs, and then collaborate with existing institutions. So one of the things that finally came to fruition, right, it was we talked about it, what we wanted to do. The most recent opportunity came from IDHS expanded programming for a lot of social services, but actually then funding them. I mean, to the tens of millions of dollars for the state of Illinois. And we positioned ourselves to go after violence prevention grants. Now, these are very detailed. So I'll just say what has happened, and I can speak of what's here, concrete. So one of the things we actually applied for was a violence prevention intervention grant, which is like street workers, social work, and casework, to be a collaborative effort with the city and our surrounding boundaries, right? So usually with our tax, with what are the money you see there hanging, is from our taxing body, our levy, our parameters within the township. But we actually acquired resources that go beyond that. So we applied for $2 million. We're gonna hire 18 full-time staff to do this and work with the community. Now, we were at the forefront of this. I just wanna say, even the state of Illinois, IDHS, was really impressed with what we were doing, because no other township has, even though we have the legal ability to do and pivot to do this, we are at the forefront of that. And they wanna use our success as a model. Again, it's not just about us, because all our communities are suffering from this. So it's our integration with the schools, our integration with the city, how we can go after resources and pivot our staff, right? Pivot our staff in higher capacity, because that's what governing is, right? We want a higher capacity to bring in other resources. And we've been operating under this, not knowing what specifically we were gonna go after to this opportunity, but we had the foresight, our entire administration had the foresight that we needed to get ready. And just through all the approvals, every meeting, every budget renovation with the foresight of this with my finance director and my staff, we were able to bring this. Now, we are also at the forefront of bringing everything else that wasn't there, we're applying, and we're building professional capacity to bring these resources beyond the Joliet Township borders. So I just wanna say, I wanna thank everyone, this is the way we do this, because this is what we perceive as governing, right? This is what government should be doing. And everyone, from every single one of my my trustees, to my road commissioner ever elected, like, there is that vision, because this is what government should be doing, collaborating, coordinating, having the foresight to bring it, and then institute it, right? We want it, our goal is to institutionalize the work that actually works. We always hear about how, with the resources we actually need, they're finally out there, but some institutions did not set themselves up to bring in these resources. And I just want to say that all my trustees, my staff, myself, we had that foresight to do that, and we're really excited now to roll out this work. Now, a lot of this timetable isn't on us. Things have been approved, but there are other entities where we get these resources from. But I just want to say that is the trajectory where we're going. As things are coming up, we're setting up. And again, it's not just about us. Even the approval, I really do think the approval for the buildings, it's because we're going to expand our footprint to do collaborative efforts with what already exists. Because these needs have not been met, there's resources out there, so now we're pivoting ourselves again professionally as governors, a governing body, to bring and sustain these resources. So we're not just thinking right now with COVID now, we're thinking in the future, how do then we sustain that? And as the governing body, so we take that very, very seriously, and I'm very happy to work with everyone. There's a lot of moving pieces to this all the time, but I want to say, as a governing body, that's what we positioned ourselves to do, and I'm very, very happy with our work, and I can't wait to roll it out, because it's going to have a positive impact in the community, and I know it will add positive pressure to all the other entities who do the same collaborative efforts. So we're very excited. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Also, hats off to all of the, our elected trustees and governing body here to have that foresight. Violence prevention and trauma response to violence, specifically gun violence. The local advisory committee worked exclusively hard to identify that Joliet itself is a high-density gun violence targeted area. But the volume of gun violence in this area is massive, and the response has been lacking. So thank you for that vision and that foresight. And of course, as I've said already multiple times, we will be walking these projects through with you hand in hand to make sure that it is implemented correctly and to make sure that the right folks are getting it. In my truest transparent form, this is very personal as someone that's had a lived experience of gun violence. You know, if there was God forbid, a school shooting that occurred, we would have trauma response and resources in that said school. If there was a mass shooting somewhere at someone's workplace, there would be trauma response. But in the hood, specifically in Joliet, we have not had that. And so this potential that and this opportunity that the governor saw the foresight to do and to set aside fundings through DHS, and having you know, a governing body here locally saying, I'll step up, I'll send me, I'll go. That's a scripture in Isaiah. But who will go? Who will be there? And this township is taking, I won't say a risk, because it's a sure win when you're betting on the future of a community, but it is audacious and it's bold. So my hat's off to you all of you guys collectively for taking on that work. Moving on, is there any other township officials that would like to speak at this time? You also have a 2-minute limit, a for real 2-minute limit.
Susanna Ibarra, trustee. I just want to say how proud I am of that violence prevention grant. You cannot imagine how much it means to me. My sister-in-law was a murder victim. So anything that we can incorporate that includes violence prevention is extremely important to me. The upgrade of services to our Spanish-speaking residents has been transformational for this community. And I wouldn't have believed it had I not seen it with my own eyes. How many people come through that door at the LIHEAP events that don't speak English, and that if somebody is not there to greet them in their own language and we meet them where they're at, then they would not be able to get the services. So I think that's a huge upgrade that I'm really proud of here at the township. It's been transformational, so thank you. Thank you for that.
Any other township trustees that would like to speak at this time? Going once, going twice. Township at this time, township trustees that would like to speak. Oh, okay, thank you. And then our next action item is inquiries from residents of the township. So if you are holding a paddle and you would like to speak at this time, you have a moment to speak. Ms. Aguirre.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra
Could you
Gilbert.
come to the podium?
No, that's okay. I think I can speak loud enough. Everybody can hear me, right?
We just have to record you. We're required to
Oh, sorry.
record you.
No, you can say that, we're recording. Go ahead.
Okay, they can hear you.
The reason why I'm standing up here and trying to give my message, and I want to say that I'm very proud of the present township supervisor and their staff. No, for the time while I was working at township, never things like that happened. I'm very proud of all of you. And keep doing good for our community, because that's what we need. And that's what it should have been done from before and now and future. Congratulations.
Any other residents to speak that are holding a paddle? No? Seeing none, I'll move into closing remarks. So I just wanted to mention in closing remarks that this green sheet here is listed on the website of the township. This is what the electors, which is everyone holding a paddle, registered voters in Joliet Township, electors present at the annual town hall meeting have the power to, and there's 21 different action items that are listed. There might be more. Am I missing? Oh, there's 38. Sorry, I didn't know there was a backside. But this is the authority that we as electeds have to talk about in a township meeting. And there is a process to do said thing, and all of this is listed on the website. So we have rights. A lot of us are uneducated or ill-informed. We just don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. But there is a way and a method and a petition where if I want to come and talk about one of these topic items and bring this to the next annual meeting, this is the process. So I encourage you all that are sitting here tonight saying, everything's just kind of flowing, the agenda's already set, how do I know I get to vote? Why is it just this set agenda item? There is a method and a way, and I encourage you not to just look at the Joliet Township website and their agendas monthly, but look at your city government website, your City of Joliet agenda. Look at your Joliet Township High School's agenda. Be informed and encourage others to be informed and talk about the process. Our journalism students report about this process because there is such lack of participation in the governmental process, and especially locally. This influences everyday life, how our schools are funded, how our resources are funded in our community, how our taxes are spent, and how our money, this is all of our money that they're spending. Like it is their responsibility and their elected oath of office to handle this responsibility for us, but it is our money that we are being billed and taxed every year, or money set aside, or grants received that we have to help support and dictate. So please be an active participant in government, whatever level of government that is, and I'm glad to be a part of this process here. So that is my closing remark, wishing everyone to have a beautiful, beautiful, safe next year. And at this time, I would like to move on to letter K, which is a motion to set the time for the next annual town hall meeting. The annual town hall meetings are set by law, which was read earlier tonight, to be held the second Tuesday of the month in April. So that would make our next annual town hall meeting to be held Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. And if I can get a motion and a second.
You need to set
Mr.
time too, or?
It had to be
6:15.
Okay.
It could be at 6, it can't be done before 6, so 6 and, but normally 6 o'clock.
I will keep 6:15 to be uniformed and in order. I see a motion for Mr. Stiff and a second from, I'm sorry, say your name one more time. Mr.
Jeff
Wolf. Wallace, yes. All in favor? Blue. All opposed? Red. Thank you. Motion carried. Inquiries, if there's anything else to come before the meeting. And I now am asking for a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second to adjourn. A motion by Ms. Fleet and second from Sue. Thank you so much, everybody. Please have, if everybody can vote to adjourn. Thank you. Have a beautiful night. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
At 6:46.